Welcome, everybody, in to another edition of Vinyl Hall here on the Living Deadwax channel. I am your host, Ty, joined by my co-host, partner in crime, Tyler. Tyler, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Always a good Wednesday, seeing your face, going over vinyl stuff, talking about music, talking about Bucky Larson, the movie, apparently, before we started shooting. So I knew that was I knew that was covert on the DL that people find out that you're a Bucky Larson fan. But you know, there you go. Had to put it out there.
We don't have to talk about what happens. What happens in the green room stays in the green room. All right.
No, I break kayfabe. I truly break kayfabe, especially when you're talking about Bucky Larson.
Yeah, that's top tier cinema. Like there's
I thought as much.
Citizen Kane, Gone with the Wind, Bucky Larson.
Yeah,
it's probably like
somewhere
right
in between. Yeah, somewhere in between, maybe Gone with or whatever, maybe. But
yeah,
who knows.
Anyways, guys, thanks for clicking on this video. Today we're doing some vinyl haul. It's been a while, about a month or so, maybe 2 months.
Not to you guys, though. You guys have been getting them every week.
Yeah, check them out. We actually had one uploaded today. So here on this channel, we do music-related topics and vinyl-related topics. So if you're into any of that, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. We got a mountain. I've got quite a bit of stuff. I know Tyler's got a decent amount of stuff, more than we usually like to bring. So let's get it going, man. Do you want to run through all yours first?
Yeah, I can do that. That's fine.
Yeah, let's get it going.
So, all right. So, just run through it real quick. All right. So, something that I don't know, I haven't really brought up a lot on the channel, whatever, but I'm a pretty healthy Gaga discography and collection. And something I didn't have that got put out last year was Dawn of Chromatica. So it was the remix record for her last record that she did. That's you. Thank you. So there's that.
What the fuck is going on there?
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's her and it's like a mouth, teeth and stuff. I don't know, just there's a lot of stuff happening.
Oh, she's right in the middle. Yeah. I see it.
Oh yeah.
I see her face.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that.
Interesting.
And then it's gonna be on some ultra clear.
That's very clear.
Pretty thick. Yeah. Not bad. So this came out last year, I believe, and it's been hovering, even at stores still, it's still hovering around like 25, 30 bones. And I don't want to pay that, to be honest with you, because it's not super rare or anything. I can get it at any time. So, and no, I haven't found it used. So I was on Vinyl Deals on Reddit, the worst subreddit to be a part of. And somebody was selling it for $14 on eBay. And so $14, I pulled the trigger on that one pretty quickly. And when the guy sent it to me, for whatever reason, it showed refused. So he actually had to send it to me twice, which sucked. I only paid shipping once, whatever. But the second time, it worked out perfect and I got it. So it was all good. But I have not had a chance to listen to this yet. Full disclosure. But I'm not going to lie to you. This is definitely just for the collection. I very rarely, and I know that her remixes are actually pretty well liked amongst the fans and otherwise. Not really for me, honestly. And Chromatica wasn't like a slam dunk record for me. So I just bought it to put it in the collection. So it's whatever. The completion is bullshit for me.
Gotcha.
Whatever.
Have you used those eBay sellers on Vinyl Deals a lot? Because I've always heard mixed things. I've never done it. I've done the Amazon stuff a lot, but
I bought that. I bought something else from eBay too. Actually, I don't think it was from Vinyl Deals though. But okay. I've definitely done it. It's just, I mean, think about it. You're typically just buying it from a store anyway. So it's just the stores has an eBay store as well as probably an Amazon store, or doesn't, vice versa, whatever, right? So I don't really think about it, honestly.
The only reason I didn't do it, there was something that I can't remember what the album was, but there was something that popped up on there that was a good price. And I was looking at the comments in the thread, and then people were saying like, "Oh, this seller was shipping out damaged copies."
Yeah.
So they were still sealed, but they were dinged up and shit, and so there was just probably stuff you couldn't sell in the store, and that's why it marked down. But it wasn't clear this is damaged, dinged corners, that type of stuff.
Yeah. So full disclosure on this as well. Again, this is a little bit of a dinged. So there's a little bit of ding here.
Oh,
Like it's not
okay.
100% perfect. There's a crease over here on that corner right there. So
Yeah.
for $14, I was not going to argue with it really. Like it's whatever. I don't know if the guy's whole stock, obviously, of that record that it was on there was like that, but yeah, I don't know. Like it's definitely possible, and I guess there is more of a process returning with eBay. I guess like you have to talk to somebody. You don't just hit a button on Amazon and just like return and whatever.
Yeah.
So you actually have to have an interaction with somebody, I guess. But by and large, I think we're pretty good on that. Though I have had mixed bag with eBay in the past. For example, the pumpkins. That was a bad eBay purchase.
Oh yeah.
Came broken, so not a good thing. But you gotta take gamble chocolates. So there's that.
One last thing there. What was the gatefold on that? I don't think you showed the gatefold.
Oh, I did not. Yeah, you're right. So I didn't because I have the thing in there. So I have it's massive and gnarly. So even more of
so it's just more of the cover.
Okay. Yeah, so good call on the gatefold. Yeah, I just have the giant hype sticker in there.
Gotcha.
Because we keep those here because fucking losers.
So are you caught up?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. So there's a Orchestra Day first release with her and Tony for the last record, Tony Bennett, for their last record they did together. I don't have that. Everything else, I have all the LPs. I have a lot more than most people have, actually. Like my Gaga collection is actually pretty healthy. So I was buying when I lived at home, like the second time. So like I was 19, I moved back in for a few months and then moved back out. I just remember with like those few months I was still home, I was on eBay, or I was on Amazon and eBay, buying a bunch of shit. And so I got a bunch of like 7 inches, like picture disc 7 inches. I got the like other remix EPs and stuff like that, which are all money now. So like I caught that just the perfect time for the vinyl boom. Gotcha. And so it all worked out. But yeah, I'm pretty caught up with Gogs, cool. Except for that Tony Bennett, 12 inch.
Cool.
Another one I got here, another eBayer. Alan Jackson. Ooh, yeah. A lot about living, a little about love. This is a Vinyl Me Please exclusive. So if you notice, as the wrong Obi, the Towns Van Zandt. So that was a mispress at the pressing plant itself. So it's not whatever. So this was brand new and sealed. I didn't really feel like taking it all because I actually kind of like that it's the wrong one. Kind of adds a little character, I guess. Whatever. Also don't anticipate this being worth a shitload of money. So like, I don't really care that's the wrong thing necessarily. But still really nice. It's very, very heavy cardstock. Also came on Mercury Blue, which is one of the songs on the record. So grew up a massive, my little kid heart, grew up a massive Alan Jackson fan. Still actually had my first concert ticket ever right there from Alan Jackson, 96. But I love Alan Jackson a lot. AJ, Ty's not a fan for different reasons. We talked about this in the past on the podcast. But if you give me 90s country vinyl for guys that I really liked and still like, I guess, for that time period in catalog, I don't know what he's doing anymore, but whatever. I will purchase it every day of the week. So this was like 30. This was like $35, maybe $32, something like that. And it was going for originally, I think, 50 or 55 on the actual Vinyl Me Please. So it was pretty expensive because I imagine the licensing for this is pretty hefty too, because there's not this shit is out there. So like I'm pretty sure this got pressed, but maybe just in Europe. Because I have
what year is it?
It's 92.
Oh,
so very tail end. And this is the one with Chattahoochee on it. So Chattahoochee is obviously the massive song. She got the rhythm, I got the blues. Tonight I Climb the Wall. Who Says You Can't Have It All? Mercury Blues. She Likes It Too. This thing is just fucking ripe with just straight bops. Okay, fucking AJ. So there you go. So Alan Jackson, Vinyl Me Please exclusive. What about love? A lot of living.
Is that a gatefold or no?
It is a gatefold, but I didn't crack it.
You're gonna be sealed.
So like, yeah, like I don't know what it is really. But yeah, it is a gatefold. It's super heavy cardstock. So this is really nice. If anybody wants to pick it up, I would suggest it because this is nice.
Is that the only thing you own by Vinyl Me Please? Or do you have other stuff?
No, I have a Weezer Pinkerton. I have I have a Weezer Pinkerton. I think I have two other things. I don't nothing on top of my head, but the Weezer Pinkerton is kind of cool because it's a fold out and it has a um, picture for the gatefold, which looks pretty sick.
I got
it's
something
on.
like that coming up.
There you go, fucking A. But I think I have a few of those, but nothing off the top of my head. Oh wait, the Bruce. I already showed the
Oh yes, yeah.
A little while ago. That was
and they're all similar quality, like the heavy cardstock and.
So that one's not as so the Bruce is kind of like that. It's not as heavy as that is though. The Weezer is very thin, like as thin as it normally would be for any other release, or whatever. Yeah. But I imagine that has to do with the actual packaging itself because it is a pop up, like a picture book, kind of deal. But I think they're all roundabout pretty high quality. I don't think there's anything too fucked up there. Hopefully, cross fingers in the future. But
I don't have any. That's why I was just curious.
Oh yeah, man, it's good shit. So
is that your favorite AJ record?
No, my favorite AJ record is gonna be "Who I Am." It's the first record because that's the first exposure that I ever had to music. So
do you have that?
I don't have that because it's not. I think it's probably out there. I think I've looked for it. I think it's probably in Europe somewhere or possibly like Spain or something. But at that point, that's 90. So at that point, it's like you're cutting it pretty close. I have that. I have the greatest hits, and then I have Don't Rock the Jukebox. So I have 3 now, and only one's original, obviously, just the jukebox, which is a promo. But
gotcha.
if they release any other ones there, man, I'll do it. Like I haven't bought. He has new ones. The last like 2 or 3 are on vinyl, but I don't have any interest in buying them.
I'd be really down for a lot of country artists for greatest hits. I don't want to own like a bunch of Brooks and Dunn records, but I would love to own like a nice 2 LP
Brooks and Dunn,
hits.
Tim McGraw, George Strait.
I'd be down with that.
I got the Garth already, so you know me, got to hold it down.
Well, Garth likes money. He likes the numbers.
He likes
the sales numbers.
He loves
as we've discussed before on the channel.
Absolutely.
He's a different breed of human.
For sure, yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I'm with you. AJ is a different story because I do want all that, right? Because I actually listened to those records as a little kid. Those were my first ever CDs and tapes that I ever owned. So that's my connection there. But like, if I didn't, and if my parents just had a greatest hits for a lot of stuff, like I'd be the same way. Like I know like Brooks and Dunn like 1 and 2 and Brand New Man, like those are big records, right? But if they just want to give me the Brooks and Dunn greatest hits, I'm all about it. And I don't want to buy the duet revision record they put out a few years ago. So
no, I don't want that.
No, it's not for me.
You're not gonna. If you're in a desert, you're not gonna turn down water like a shot of water, like just a drip. So you know how it goes. All right, what you got next?
All right, so I actually should grab these at some point, but I also am doing I'm always consciously doing it. Just it doesn't always come into fruition all the time, right? But getting my Van Halen going. So now it's David Lee Roth solo Skyscraper. So this is the first official record. You have the EP before this, but this is the first record. I know a little bit about this because just like Paradise obviously was a huge song. This is still a Steve Vai record. So just like Paradise, Skyscraper. Off the top of my head,
it's a really good band.
Really good. It's Billy. We already talked about this together, but yeah, who is it? It's gonna be.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Oh yeah, there you go. It's Billy Sheehan, Steve Vai, Dave Lee Roth, and then
Greg Bissanetti.
There you go. That's what it is. Greg Bissanetti, which I think is a guy too.
Jazz drummer, so he's probably really good.
Really good.
And then Brett Tuggle is on keyboards, and he's actually playing with Fleetwood Mac right now. So he put together a really good band, which is
really good
kind
band.
of interesting. Yeah,
because people were talking about because they would play some Van Halen stuff, I think, and it would still be fucking killer, obviously. So Dave obviously is not my favorite Van Halen vocalist necessarily. Especially not his solo output, whatever. But I'm just trying to piece together as much as I can the era of Van Halen, you know, maybe some Hagar. I have a lot of Hagar, actually. I still have a lot of Hagar. That was unintentionally. I have a lot of Hagar, but
Yeah.
you know, so I found this for like $4 or $5. It's pretty solid. I'm gonna purchase it every day of the week. And then I got as well. I'm going. Go.
The Van Halen extended universe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm trying to piece together, you know, all the random comics and the random, you know, like, you know, books and what have you, all this stuff. I'm trying to, yeah, really piece it together and really just get a full, you know, idea as to what was going on in that universe at the time, right?
Yeah.
So there's that.
I have never listened to that record. Full disclosure.
I just know the two big singles, man. That's it. I need to get
Oh,
it.
you've never listened to it?
I've never listened to it either. Yeah, I still have not listened to the record. I just know, just like Paradise, I know Skyscraper. That's it.
Gotcha.
So, you know, it is what it is. And then we also picked up some singles as well, which I don't actually have on my person right now. But I also have a bunch of singles, so I'll put. We can do those later. Another haul. Okay. But more Van Halen stuff. Another thing I got. So Ty and I found this at Tempe, Zia, was Neil Young, Crazy Horse, or Stray Gators in this case. Tuscaloosa LP. So Neil's putting out his own bootlegs now. And so this is one of the more higher quality bootlegs, which is nice. It has a lot of the songs from the era that you want. So Heart of Gold, Old Man Harvest, After the Gold Rush, Time Fades Away. You know, good solid on the weekend. So I've listened to a little bit of this when it first got released. This is from like, I want to say 2019. So I listened to it when it first got released a little bit, and I liked it a lot. It's been hovering about $26, $28 or so. And we found it used, and it's perfect. And it was like 15, and that was an all-day purchase. So I need to start piecing together more than the new Neil Young bootlegs, because every single time they come out, people fucking rave about them. So I need to get more into this. But Neil Young, Stray Gators, Tuscaloosa. Here's that. Got a few more here.
There's one of the guys on Sea of Tranquility is Davey Gallagher. Okay. He was, and have you ever seen the Record Collector magazine? It's a UK magazine.
I know it exists. Yeah.
All right. I look at it at Barnes & Noble from time to time. Really cool magazine. They do like price breakdowns of different pressings and shit you want to look for if you're going to collect this. They did a Neil Young issue. Okay. And Davey Gallagher's in that issue because he has one of the biggest Neil Young collections in the world.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
It's really impressive. And yeah, they did a whole write-up on him because they were doing like a Neil Young buying guide and shit. So they like went to him and was like asking him stuff.
So and then, what do you want to buy?
They and they wanted to get like pictures of his collection and shit. And he's like, I can't do that. Like, there's too much shit. So like they just like pieced together, and he pulled like, did like a big overview, but he pulled like specific rare pieces. Crazy. Yeah, he has vinyl, CD, the Blu-rays, DVDs, like every VHS, literally everything, books, anything that Neil Young ever touched. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's pretty impressive. I want to go to Barnes & Noble and see if they have it on the stand and at least look at it.
Yeah,
he seems like a really cool dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. So like I whenever I see it, I always just see like the Beatles, the most collectible, you know, EP or whatever the fuck, that kind of shit. It's always like that kind of a headline or whatever, right? And I know I'm pretty sure I flipped through it before, and it has a lot of breakdowns for a lot of like really nerd shit, and it's like interesting to fucking read it.
Yeah,
because it's stuff obviously that 99.999% of the population has no fucking idea about, and that's the stuff that we nerd out on. So, you know,
in
heaven.
Yeah, it's stuff I don't care about Neil Young, but it was just impressive. It's just impressive. I
mean,
like that guy knows everything about anything that Neil Young ever released.
No, 100%. Like, and I don't have that for any, but like, not, I don't like that. Bruce, I don't have that much fucking, I have a lot of knowledge. I don't nearly have as much knowledge as that guy has about Neil Young, about Bruce or whatever. Right. But, yeah, it's a crazy, to be like a true historian biographer kind of guy and like an archivist of an artist, especially an artist that prolific and from that era, pretty fucking gnarly and impressive. Because there's a million things out there for that guy. So you piecing together even a quarter of it, right, is the most impressive shit in the fucking world.
Definitely.
But yeah,
Definitely.
So
All right.
there's that. And then I got 3 more here real quick. I got Into It Over It, Proper. This is the 10-year release. So
Holy
Evan
shit.
put out the remaster of it, if you will. And then there's also a live EP on here as well, them performing the record from during the COVID time. So standard is, I think it's
nice.
like a gray smoke or something or other.
Silverish. Looks silver. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I'm colorblind,
cool.
so I think you're right.
I like
Very
it.
cool.
Matches the album cover. I like that.
It does match the album cover. Good call. Yeah. And then there's the live LP on here as well. The live LP is just a basic black.
Okay.
But it's a live cut of the entire record at the Shirk Studios in Chicago, and yeah, I'm almost positive it's all COVID stuff they just did, and he finally just put out. So he was in a feud with No Sleep Records. So No Sleep put out the record originally, and Chris from No Sleep may or may not allegedly have paid for things or not paid him for things, and so there was a dispute going on, and so it was got pretty nasty and pretty gnarly. Evan actually ended up putting out a T-shirt and a sticker pack of his ripped up No Sleep contract, and then he wrote a song about him on the next record. Maybe 2 records later, because I think the next record is also No Sleep. So maybe 2 records later, wrote a song about him, and so pretty gnarly, right? So
yeah,
there was because I talked to Evan at the Stuffing, actually, Manchester's festival they do in November every year. I think it was 2016. I talked to him about it, and I was like, "Hey, man, are you ever going to put out another pressing of 52 Weeks?" 52 Weeks is a box set, if you will, of 52 songs that he put out originally when he first kind of started the project, a song a week and whatever. So it's a 4 LP set that I actually already own, so whatever. But I was wondering if he's going to put more of those out. And he's like, well, Chris kind of owes me $25,000, so I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. And he's like, plus just for that particular project, if we were to do it, like it costs, like I think it's like $30 a piece for every one of those to get made. It's $30. And he's like, so I need, $30,000 to press 1,000 of them, and it's just, it doesn't make financial sense right now. So anyway,
he would need somebody to do it. Yeah, like somebody to front the money and do it themselves. Yeah.
100%. So basically, then fast forward to like a year ago, he posted a picture on Instagram, and the picture was of basically a fucking like a USB drive, but like probably one that cost $500 or something, or thousands. I have no idea, right? But it was the master files of Proper, and he didn't put any other context there. It just had Proper, I believe, written on like a tag, and you had the USB. And if you knew, you knew, right? So that was maybe like a year and a half ago or so. And I was super stoked because I thought, he's going to fucking put it out, right? And so for the 10 years, what my thought process was, which is what he did. But interesting enough, I think, I don't know Evan's whole life, I don't know, but probably also realized, because this is his biggest record for sure. He also was convinced he would never get it back ever. Like that was another thing he talked about. He's like, I'm never get this record back. So like he's gonna have it forever. I'm never gonna be able to get it back. But I'm pretty sure they bartered something, or they're like, hey, I don't owe you money anymore. You can have the record. And I'm pretty just making basic assumptions here. That's probably what happened, but I don't know for sure. Obviously, that's just what I'm thinking. So he partnered with Chris and No Sleep for this release 10 years later. So went back to him. They made up, I don't know, whatever the fuck. So actually went back and put the record out on a joint No Sleep and Evans label. So there you go. So the live EP is cool. I listened to this. So the record still sounds as good as it ever did. Live EP is still super cool. Evan's really good live, and his band's always super tight too. So would recommend if you're a fan of Into It Over It, pop punk, emo, whatever, right? There you go. So
10 years. Holy shit.
10 years, man. We saw him on that tour.
We saw him open for Frank, yeah.
On that tour. That was before he had the band. Jeez. So that was him just solo acoustic, and we saw him there at Rhythm Room. And then he brought the band on like maybe 2-3 years later, and
Yeah.
then ever since then he's done pretty much all band. I think we've seen him with
I
the band too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that record. I haven't listened to that record in a long time,
yeah,
but I did like it. Yeah.
yeah. It was cool. I'm a big into it over a guy. I got all those records. Uh, last vinyl I have here, vinyl record. Another copy of a Black Mound of the Surface, Manchester Orchestra. So this goes out of press pretty often and gets super expensive every single time, whether it's a
Mm.
color variant or not. And so they posted up, the label posted up for more of these, or I shouldn't say the label, different websites posted up more of these for order. And the Amazon listing actually showed the Euro red pressing, and it didn't actually show the color of the LPs. But I know because it's on Caroline Records, so it's on a different label. That's the only thing they put out on that record label in Europe. So for this record, so I was like, let me just take a gamble. It's $22. Let me take a gamble. So took a gamble. It's just regular black. So I didn't need to buy this. I already have it like twice over. Didn't, whatever. But I was taking a gamble because I was like, if I can get another copy of the red, that'd be super sick. Because I already have that. But if I get another one, fucking A. So I lost, but now I just have this, and so I'll unload this at some point to somebody for fucking $22. So there's that. And then last one, I got. This is actually not a record. This is Citizen Kane
Laserdisc.
on Laserdisc. This is the Criterion collection, I believe from '92, maybe. 87. Wow. All right.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
yes, this is sealed, and I bought it for $3. And originally, used was going for 20 back in 2003. So I left that sticker on there at Bookman's, which is another place that we have here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And maybe other places. I don't know. But Laserdiscs, Ty and I both every so often dip our fingers in to cool Laserdiscs. And I recently got into Citizen Kane. More of the story behind the movie. The movie's kind of boring, honestly. But the story and all the history behind the movie is actually pretty fucking cool and gnarly. So I found a sealed copy of the Criterion Collection. It's a little beat up. It's got some creasing here and there, but $3, it's worth it every time. So there you go. So now I have.
Is there any bonuses on that?
So it has. So that's one thing it does have. It does have commentary, and it has I think some video. If I read on here at some point, it has some video for the or from the premiere night and some pictures, I think, somewhere.
Interesting.
Because back in the day, this is the only time I don't know, maybe you know this, did Criterion do VHSs?
I don't know.
Off the top of your head,
Good question.
Up, I guess.
I don't think so.
I've only ever known
seen
DVD,
one.
obviously, and Laserdisc.
I have never seen a Criterion VHS.
Yeah, so that'd be really. Maybe they did beta, because isn't beta better? Not sure.
Yeah,
we could, I guess, look this up. I mean, the Japanese usually are better than us, so the Betamax has to be better than what we were doing with the VHS kit.
No, they did VHS. They did VHS.
Okay.
I've just never seen them.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, so this is sick. If you don't know about Citizen Kane, you can watch the movie. It's fine. It's the greatest movie of all time. Whatever. But history and story behind Citizen Kane, to me, as a dumb dude who's not a cinephile, is much more interesting than the movie itself. But that's just me. So, there you go.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what because they just dropped that on 4K. So I'd be curious to see what bonus features made it over, if all of them did or not.
I don't know. I know I
would look, but...
Yeah, I did look into that a little bit, and people were talking about because I bought it on digital, the digital 4K. So I bought that on there, and it has some special features on there, but not nearly enough, and not as much as I thought there would be, honestly. But the Criterion, I know, has like 3 documentaries. It has some newsreel footage. It has some interview with Orson Welles. It has the commentaries, the same ones I believe that are on here. But I also know they shot new ones at a certain point in the late 90s with one of the guys that is a guy, I don't know, not from Citizen Kane, but another, a historian guy. And then the digital 4K just had a few like 30-second little clips from premiere night. It has like a 3-minute interview with the main actress who plays Charles Foster Kane's mistress, and that was shot in like '99. And then I believe another production guy, maybe assistant director, possibly interviewed him at the same time, like '99 or so. And they're cool interviews, but they're very short, and there's not a lot that go into the digital. But I do know the Criterion has a bunch with it, and has probably as much as you could possibly get because that's the whole gimmick. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah,
over.
They always do a really good job on all that stuff.
Have
Alrighty.
to. You're paying money for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's why most people when most people collect their Criterions, it's only during the half off sales.
Oh, is that true?
That's,
That's the main gimmick?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Nice,
the joke is the joke is buy them at normal price sale. So
there you
especially
go.
Especially because they go through Barnes and Noble, and Barnes and Noble always marks stuff even more.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like
Fuck,
everything's
right.
like $50 for a Criterion Blu-ray, 40 sometimes.
CDs are still $27 there.
Yeah. So like when the half off sales, you can get stuff for 25 and 20. So
okay.
Which is they're not that Criterion's not that bad, like at price wise. Most boutique levels, like you're spending $40 to $50 most of the fucking time. So
yeah.
It's just like vinyl. Like this shit's just fucking expensive now. It's just what it is. It is.
Unfortunately, so.
Yep. Alrighty. Anything else at all?
That's it, man. I'm tapped. So there we go.
All right.
So, Kane.
Let's get going here. I got quite a bit here. Like I said, this is like the last couple month or two.
I don't know about a lot of this, so we'll see.
Exactly. So some stuff I'll riff on quite a bit if I have something to say about it. Other stuff we'll just kind of run through it. Pick this up at Zia. This is, let me go big here. This is Roy's.
Oh wow.
Biography. This is done by Ellis Amburn. This is Dark Star, the Roy Orbison story, and this was released in, I want to say like 92.
Wow.
Cool
cover.
Copyright 90. So I've always been interested in this book. I've just never run across it in person. I've almost bought it used online, and this is a, hardback.
Minty.
So it was like $5. I was like, I couldn't pass it down. And then, like, side note, I have this sitting in here. I got a Zia Valentine because it was.
Ooh. All right.
It was right around It was like early February.
Yeah.
This is in the book. This has nothing to do with the book, but I'll just talk about it real quick. So I do have a Rush program. I saw Rush twice. They're my favorite band. Saw them twice. Saw them on this tour, but I don't have my stub anymore. No idea what happened to it. But I was flipping through their tour programs, and they had a tour program from the Snakes and Arrows tour. One of the tours I saw Rush on. I was like, okay, It had a different cover than the one I have. So that's why I even picked it up, because I'm like, what is this different? I flipped through it and I'm like, no, this is just the same. It's just like they did a variant cover. So I wasn't going to spend the $20 they wanted for it, but this fell out of it. So now I have a ticket stub for the show that I went to, which I appreciated. So I of course took that out and threw that in there. This is also personalized as well. Somebody bought this for her husband.
Oh wow.
To my love, Merry Christmas, 2002. Your wife. So that's a good wife. Getting her some Roy.
That's a good one.
Gonna read up. I'm excited to read this because it's probably. I know a lot about Roy though, but there's not like a ton of good shit out there. There's a really good documentary about Mystery Girl, the making of that record, but there's not a ton out there. So I'm really excited to read that. Moving on. This was also in the toy program section. Journey Frontiers toy program, and this dude is big. I could not leave it there. It's one of those things where it's like, why are you buying this? But it's so, it's ruined. It's so nice.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Just great pictures in here. 1983.
That's awesome.
World tour.
40
And
years
then-
ago, brother.
Yeah, crazy. This thing's 40 years old.
Really nice.
Yeah, really good pictures in here. It's of all the guys. Got good behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Back when they used to pretend to like each other. And then got an ad in here for the Atari game.
Hell yeah.
So that really sold me on that. Seeing that ad. And then there's also an ad. This sold me on it too.
Oh wow.
An ad for all the back catalog.
That's cool.
So that was
only
pretty
Steve
cool.
Records, no?
Yeah, because that's the only thing. Or yeah, I get what you're saying. I forgot they have records before. I forgot about the first 3 records
and shit.
Yeah, no, they don't.
You don't advertise those. That's weird.
Yeah, they're not. They don't want you to find out about those.
those are secrets.
All right, moving on. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to find, and I could not leave it there, man. It's 40 years old. That stuff always tugs at my heart, like the stuff that is like not supposed to survive, like a tour.
No, 100%.
Like a
or
girl probably bought that.
Fuck,
yeah, a girl probably bought that tour program, or a guy, whoever, and they were probably a teenager, and the odds of that thing surviving is slim to none. Moving on to vinyl now. In Flames, their new record "Foregone." I really dig this record. I probably listened to this record the most like last month out of anything. I like basically all In Flames. I never turned on them. A lot of people hate them now. Change vocal styles, totally different than just what they were when they started in the early 90s. Not there's nothing death metal anymore about In Flames.
They go clean?
There's a lot of there's clean screaming vocals, way more metalcore type stuff. But there's nothing Swedish, really mellow death anymore about In Flames. I don't really care. Still produce really good records, write good songs. They always have a good sound too. This is a fun record, man. I dig it a lot. Foregone, In Flames. Here's the gatefold.
Ooh, hell yeah!
Cool artwork.
Very cool artwork.
Got the Jester head, who's on pretty much every In Flames album. It's not like if you still hate In Flames, this isn't going to get you back into the band. But if you've been a fan of their stuff, but you've been kind of absent on some of their recent releases, you'll probably dig this. There is some heavier stuff on there for sure. There is some blast beats and stuff, and Chris Broderick plays on this. Former Megadeth guitar player, a bunch of other fucking bands too. I bought this the day it came out because I was absolutely stoked for it, and it lived up to the hype. But I got the signed postcard too.
Ooh,
so
that's very cool.
That was very cool. It's funny when I checked out, like the girl was like, "Do you want this?" And I'm like, "Yes, no, I'm buying the record the day it comes out. I'm not a fan. I don't want the sign."
No, 100%. It's always weird when people ask that because it's like you have that there because I'm buying the record. So that's literally, you're supposed to give it to me anyway. Why are you asking if I want it? I obviously want it because I'm buying the record. So I don't know where, like, you're not giving me some like weird shit. Like, no, you're giving me a signed little postcard I'm going to stick inside and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's related. Like, yes. Yeah. This is red.
Oh, nice. There you go. Deep red.
Solid red. And that's out of 2000 on Nuclear Blast Records. So very cool. In Flames, Foregone. Like I said, not going to get you back into the band if you've hated In Flames for the last 20 years, but,
Wow, 20. In Flames has been not cool for 20 years.
Just about, yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they're like a 30-year-old band now, I think, which is fucking insane.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All right, let's keep the vinyl rolling. Rush, A Farewell to Kings. Absolutely great Rush record. Picked this up on Discogs for a really good price because I just wanted a really clean copy of it, and I just getting pissed because it's hard to find Rush in the stores and still for a good price. And this was a really good price, and it matched the description fairly well. So Seller was spot on. Yeah, Farewell to Kings. Obviously, this says closer to the heart on there. Xanadu is probably my favorite track on this record. This is right before Rush became like one of the biggest bands going. This is right before Moving Pictures, so it's interesting to see like the progression of their prog, and then Moving Pictures hits, and then they kind of change it up, and they had a lot of radio hits, and this is kind of like the getting towards the peak of the progginess, so to speak. So Farewell to Kings absolutely adore this record, though. They don't have a bad record, so there you go.
76, 77?
Yeah, it's 77. So your Moving Pictures was 82, 81 or whatever. So yeah, you're a few years before Moving Pictures, and then you're like a few years before Permanent Waves, which was out before Moving Pictures. So
yeah, wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, Rush is super hard to find every time. We haven't been able to find any. Well, lied to you. We found some fucking good Rush like about a month ago. I didn't buy any of it, but we found some healthy good Rush for not bad prices. It was good condition. That's a rarity. That's a fucking white buffalo.
Yeah, it was quite a bit. I had everything in there, so
yeah,
didn't help me out any. I did. I tried to. You're like, fuck it. I hate those guys. I hate Canadians. You literally said that, and I was like, whoa, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but all right.
Well, I said a lot more words that we can't repeat in the podcast, actually. But I'll let you just say Canadians, but
I'll keep it PC.
Thank you. I'm just kidding. I love.
Yeah, but it's hard. Those 70s records, especially, are hard to find nice. So I just bit the bullet, and I'm like, it was a good price. It was less than what I'd find it at Zia for.
100%.
Heart Brigade. This is their 1990 album. Wow. Got this for a really good deal on Discogs too. Came in the cellophane too, which the seller didn't say. No hype, but I don't care. Yeah, seller had it as near mint on the sleeve, and came in cellophane, which I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, obviously this record is.
I was say, is that a club press or no? Club presses don't really come with them all the time.
I do not think so. Okay. I'd have to relook at my disc. I do not think so.
Okay.
But yes, you are correct. So this is 1990. All I want to do is make love to you. That's the big song on here. So I adore late 80s, mid to late 80s, and early 90s Heart. And this is one I've never seen in person in a store. The day that this showed up is the first time I had ever seen it on vinyl. My mom owned this CD back in the day. And yeah, so it's just one that never shows up. It wasn't even that expensive. I want to say it was like $15.
Oh, wow.
So like early 90s. And it's on that classic Capitol. I love that label. That's like my favorite Capitol label, that burgundy color.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Those are the Megadeth colors too, I think, for all the ones I got.
Yeah. This came out, I want to say beginning of last month. The Cult Love. This is from 85, if I remember right. And this is the Beggars Archives. A lot of this Cult stuff is expensive to find. Not super expensive, but like you're going to spend $30-$40 for anything halfway decent, and then upwards if you want promos and all that shit, or hype stickers, shit like that. So I bit the bullet and bought the repress because I'm like, I'm never finding this nice, especially with the black cover. It's going to be ring worn to shit. One you never see turn up in the used bins anymore. So I was happy to buy this. Spun this. Sounds great. It's good pressing. Just a single LP. But it's not like overly long, so the shit's not like, stuffed on the one LP. And then gatefold.
Ooh, there you go. There you go.
Absolutely love the Cult. One of the coolest bands for me, literally ever. Like they have some of the coolest guitar tones and production, and just like a really fucking cool band.
And they wrote a fucking badass song for Gone 6 Seconds.
Yes, yeah, they did. So it's just super stoked to finally own a clean, nice copy of that. I hope they keep going. I would love for them to keep going and do more releases in that.
How many more records they got left? Because they broke up a couple times in between them. How many more records they got left?
No, quite a bit. There's a lot of
Yeah.
records. I think they have like 12 records, something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
So there's a lot. I've got the first 3 or 4 on vinyl, so I'm doing pretty well. And I don't like the whole catalog. They kind of lose me on some shit in the 90s I've listened to.
Yeah.
The new record's okay. I need to listen to it more. Honestly, I don't own it. I just streamed it, but yeah, they're still doing stuff. They had a record drop. It was the end of last year, 2022. Moving on, picked this up at Zia, picked this up at T-Bird, Black Sabbath, Live Evil.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Really, really clean copy of this, which rarely ever shows up. This is basically the album that broke up the band because they were fucking with the mixes in the studio, and they were lowering Ronnie's vocals, and then Ronnie would go in and raise his vocals and all that shit. So, yeah, this basically did him in until obviously he came back later, and then came back again later. So,
was that to drive him out of the band?
who fucking knows, man? They're just coked
Yeah.
out of his, Tony's just coked out of his fucking mind. So it's just like, yeah. I mean, in hindsight, that wasn't exactly the smartest move if that was your goal. So
Yeah.
I do like records that precede that, but it wasn't the best business decision. Let's just put it that way. Live Evil, yeah, really good live record. You got Tony and Geezer. Geezer still in the band, and Ronnie on vocals, and then Jeff Nichols on keyboards, and Vinny's drumming, not Bill Ward. So this is after Mob Rules. So, so you got a lot of good stuff on here. Yeah, this is 82. You got a lot of good stuff on here. So you have everything from Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. So Sign of the Southern Cross, Heaven and Hell. They do Paranoid, Children of the Grave, so you can hear Ronnie do those, which is pretty cool. War Pigs, Iron Man, Black Sabbath, Children of the Sea, Voodoo, NIB, Neon Knights, Mob Rules. So yeah, you got a good gamut. This is like a greatest hits fucking record of both eras of Sabbath there. So
yeah, the only Sabbath I ever had on my iPod at any point in time was that record, and it was selections from that record. Yeah, because Alex Penrod, who was my buddy back in high school, I took his iPod one day, and because he had a bunch of cool stuff on there, a lot of weird shit on there, and I was like, hey, can I rip these tonight? And he was like, yeah, no worries. So I took his iPod home and I ripped those, and yeah, so I had and I wasn't very perceptive of the entire thing. I knew that Sabbath had other lead singers. I knew that did happen. I didn't know when, where, how. I didn't know anything, right? So I remember listening to Paranoid Iron Man, and listening to that, and I'm like, Ozzy sounds weird. Okay, all right. And I kept going, and I listened to these sound weird. It sounds cool. It sounds weird because I'm literally waiting for Ozzy, right? And it never comes. And it's a very different fucking voice altogether. And so for a little bit, when I listened to Sabbath on my iPod, it was always just be Dio Live Evil Sabbath. So yeah.
So when did you find out it was Dio?
I mean, hang out with you. So it was that happened sophomore year. Because that was the one I had that class of Alex. So probably junior year, maybe. Just talking with you and hanging out with you more, and us going to fucking Z and shit. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So that's when it clicked. You're like, that's not
100%.
Ozzy.
100%. And actually, honestly, we might have seen that record way back when.
This guy can actually sing.
Yeah, there you go. We might have seen that record way back when on the wall, and you might have even fucking said something, and that's the time it fucking clicked. Honestly, when you were like, "Oh, that's fucking,"
Never heard that.
So that was probably 10, 12 years ago, something like that. We didn't see it often. We never saw that often. We would see it a few times a year, maybe, whatever. And now we rarely ever see it. So it's a good thing you pick it up.
Never heard that story. That's a good story. Alrighty. Oingo Boingo, Skeletons in the Closet. This is the best of Oingo Boingo. All this shit's super expensive. None of it gets repressed. This is the only pressing ever of this. Was super stoked to find it, really clean, and was a good price. They completely missed the boat on this price. It was less than 30, I want to say, if I can remember right, which is it should be double that. And then I was super stoked, got it home, cleaned it, and then the hype sticker fell out.
I was gonna ask if it was on the original because we didn't even look at that. Wow, that's awesome.
No, it wasn't in there. Somebody cut it out and stuffed it in there. And I opened it. I didn't notice it when I bought the record. And then when I was
Yeah,
at home, I'm like, something stuffed down in there. What is that? And I'm like, oh, the fucking hype sticker. So I'm like, that is
that
very
is
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you got, you know, Oingo Boingo has a lot of cool tracks. They're more than a greatest hits band to me, but the shit's so expensive right now. I don't, this is it.
Yeah.
This is what I get. This is what I can do right now. So there is everything that you want to hear, though. This is a pretty good greatest hits. It's only like 13 tracks, but it's pretty solid for what it is. So
Yeah.
very cool, too. This is like 90.
I was gonna say early
I want to
90s.
say 89. 89.
Oh,
So late 80s. So yeah, it's the
yeah,
only
late.
time this has ever been. This is the only time it's ever been pressed on vinyl. Is this?
That's awesome.
This right here.
That is the shit.
Moving on. Black Sabbath. Back again with Born Again.
There you go.
This is Purple Sabbath or Deep Sabbath, whatever you want to take. This is Ian Gillan on vocals. This is that record. You either love it or you hate it. I've grown to love it. It's a very the backstory about this record is very interesting, and Ian Gillan coming into the band and just being absolutely a fucking madman and blowing out his vocals and shit doing this record. And he basically didn't finish the tour either because then the label Deep Purple they gave him a shit ton of money to reunite with for Purple, and then he's just like, all right, I'm piecing out of here. I'm gonna go back and do Deep Purple shit. So very interesting record. Obviously the iconic album cover. Again, you either love it or you hate it. It's just like the music. You either love this album cover or you absolutely fucking hate it.
I think it's cool.
It is a cool album cover. It's grown on me over the years. So this is on the Warner label. Cool record. Trash is a really cool song. The Stonehenge is a cool song. Disturbing the Priest is cool. Zero the Hero. Is Zero the Hero the Paradise City riff? There's one of these songs is the Paradise City riff. And the dude from LA Guns, what's his fucking name? Tracy. Yes, he said they stole that riff from Sabbath. I can't remember what song it is. Might be Disturbing. It's either Zero the Hero or Disturbing the Priest, but it's the Paradise City riff, if I remember right. And Tracy Guns said they were listening to this record and they completely just ripped it off when they were writing that song early on. Zero the Hero, gotcha. It's definitely there. If you listen to it, you could definitely hear it. Really cool album. I dig it. Yeah. Just a cool backstory on this album too. One thing I did find on Discogs, Tyler, you'll appreciate this. There's a really expensive pressing of this that the B side is Prince's 1999.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There was like one for sale on Discogs, and the guy wanted like $400 for it.
That's it. Well, I would imagine it was more. Wow.
Yeah. Side A is Black Sabbath, and side B is Prince. So found that interesting. But yeah,
it's Black so Sabbath weird when that happens. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Judas Priest, Sin After Sin. Classic fucking record, 77. All kinds of good tracks on here. Sinner, Diamonds and Rust cover. Yeah, I do this record. I got to get Priest and got to get clean Priest. And this was for a good price. And it's a really clean pressing of this. So not my favorite Priest record. I like the 80s Priest more than like the mid late 70s Priest. So I like more of the like metal Priest, like when they started getting that image. But this is really fucking good record. Classic tunes on there.
Fucking A. So your
this
Priest
is really cool.
Almost done then, no?
I'm doing really well. I'd have to look at it. I am missing like I think I'm missing like four, like 3 or 4. Okay. I have to go back and look at the records, but when I do complete it, I'll let you know. Yeah, I mean, I like the only things I'm not going to try to get because I don't care are the Ripper records. I don't even know if they're on vinyl. I don't know if they're ever put on vinyl. So that'd be the only thing I really, and that and Nostradamus. I don't give a fuck about Nostradamus. I will never listen to that record ever again. But so yeah, I will let you know when I do complete it. I will complete it eventually, and it is attainable. It's not a crazy goal.
We'll do a video when you do.
Yeah. Pick this up at Zia. Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack put out by Data Discs. This is really, they do a lot of Sega soundtracks. And Streets of Rage 2, one of my favorite Sega Genesis games. Great fucking soundtrack. If you don't know anything about the game, it's a beat 'em up game. So if you've played Double Dragon or like Turtles in Time, Final Fight, that type of stuff. Streets of Rage 2 is great soundtrack. Datadisc does a really good job with these. And I saw this because somebody turned it in and it was $20. And I'm like, oh, this is brand new. So it was still sealed. $20. This is all this shit's regularly like a $50 bill online all day. So I don't know who was pricing it, but I'm like, okay, I'll buy it because it was brand new. So very cool. You got your Obi there as well.
Very sick.
And then not a gatefold, which kind of sucks, but
color.
You get some cool stuff with it. I do appreciate. So there's a couple different variants of this. So I don't remember what this is out of. It's like a milky clear.
There you go.
And then you get some really cool prints.
Ooh.
So some artwork from the game. And then you get a poster as well.
Ooh. That is very cool.
Yeah.
Was that new or used?
No, this is new. It was brand new. It was sealed. Yeah, somebody bought it and never opened it and turned it in. And they, I don't know. We talk about it. Their pricing sometimes just gets weird. Like sometimes way overpriced. Sometimes they way underpriced. Sometimes they're right on. Moving on. I can't remember what trip this was. Wish you were here with hype. This is probably my second favorite Floyd record. It's tough. I'd probably maybe The Wall would be number one. It's The Wall. But yeah, with hype. This is a really late. This is like it's like a mid '80s pressing. Which I was funny. I was on Discogs. All those mid '80s pressings have like ridiculous fucking reviews on there. Like really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I just found fascinating. So I guess they all sound pretty good. I haven't spun this yet, but obviously iconic record, very clean with hype. One of the greatest hype stickers ever.
100%.
Such a fucking iconic hype. Absolutely love it.
I always trip out the back though, because the back has the stain on it, and I always think that's a real stain. Every time I look at my copy, that shit it's real. It's
gotcha. It's all screwed up. All right.
Yeah, 100%.
Got a little rainbow here.
Woo!
Straight between the eyes. This is a really good record. This is after Ronnie left. So this is with Joe Lynn Turner. The big song on here is Stone Cold. Yeah. So that was the big radio hit. They wanted to write radio hits. That's why Ronnie left the band, and that was the big radio hit there. So this is a really good record. Clean pressing. I want to say this is like this era Rainbow is always cheap. It's like less than $10. So
yeah,
cool album cover too.
A very cool album cover. I've done that a couple times.
You put a guitar head through
a
skull?
guy's head. Yeah,
okay.
100%. That's my specialty.
All right.
Don't tell nobody.
It's my finisher. It's my finish.
That's my finish.
What's your finish? I throw a guitar head through your fucking skull, brother.
Exactly.
Moving on. This just came out like a couple weeks ago. This is Genesis. This is BBC Broadcast. This is a 3 LP set. I did spin this whole thing. It's also available on a 5 CD set. So the CD set has more, basically has everything. This is just selections, but you get stuff from 72 all the way up to 92.
Ooh, okay.
So you get Peter, and then you get latter era stuff too. Very cool too. These are fun too because they have the radio like cuts and stuff, and they're like Genesis live at the BBC, that type of stuff. So that's fun. It's just a cool snapshot for me. Genesis, one of the greatest live bands ever. Like every era they just sound excellent, like musicians.
Mhm.
I was on the Hoffman boards and a lot of people were talking about this set because these bootlegs have been out there forever, and apparently like they don't sound that much better than the boots. The boots sound really good. I don't care because those guys were on there like, oh, whatever, it's not worth buying. I don't care because I don't own the boots, so like
Yeah.
it's whatever. So those guys all have copies of the boots, but yeah, BBC broadcast.
Is that on there? Like, 'cause it looks like
Uh,
tape and stuff. Oh, it is. Okay, that's like it's all fake tape and stuff.
Oh no, this is just I just ripped the.
No.
This
Bottom
is the.
left.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
bottom
yes,
left.
yes.
Yeah, scotch tape and stuff. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I dig that look because the Zeppelin BBC sessions, there it's really clean. Like it's still cool looking, but I would rather they did that like a bootleg kind of gimmick. That's it's cooler to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I was like, yeah, this looks really fucking cool. It's a 3 LP, so it's a big boy, and yeah, it's a really cool gatefold too. I'm not gonna get it out because it's a bitch to get in, but it's just this picture blown up, so it's very cool.
That's awesome.
I think this is Nebworth. Could be wrong.
Yeah,
On that,
let's call it.
but so yeah, you get Wembley, you get Nebworth. They play on Sounds of the 70s. There's a Paris show in here. So very cool. Got all different eras. And the vinyl set is more selections. So there's not really a full show on here. But the CD set, you get full shows. So CD set's definitely worth it if you're still buying CDs.
So they're gonna do a Orchestra exclusive in like a year?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They'll put everything in. Be a 6 LP set.
Yeah.
I'll save that for a second here. Michael Schenker. I'm not really that averse with Michael Schenker. I know about UFO. But UFO I need to get into, and Michael Schenker group I need to get into. This is just was a really nice copy for like $8. So MSG, Michael Schenker group on the Chrysalis label. I've always heard good things. And then to make things confusing, not the same record. This is the Michael Schenker group. That's the name of the album. So there you go. Pick that up. Really clean pressing too. And
those are cheap too, right?
On the Crystals. Yeah, both of these are like $8 or something like that. So very clean, and it's something I want to get into eventually. So
yeah.
There you go. Same trip. This is also very cheap. Was super stoked to find this. Gary Moore, Quarters of Power. Very cool fucking record. This is a promo on Mirage. It's got the send it to the radio station. Tell them the cuts to play. Shit like that.
That's awesome.
Old Mirage label.
That's sick.
Yeah, Gary Moore, blues guitarist, singer, songwriter. Did stuff with Thin Lizzy, toured with him for a little bit, played on Bad Reputation. Or not Bad Reputation, Black Rose, excuse me. So yeah, Gary Moore. One of my also like this dude's the last couple of years, man, like Gary Moore's like just shot up my rankings of guitar players. Like we ever do like a guitar player ranking, like Gary Moore is way up there. I love listening to his shit. So was super stoked to find this.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was at
Camelback.
There you go. Yep,
Zia Camelback. Deep Purple, House of Blue Light with hype sticker.
Hell yeah.
I really love Perfect Strangers, and this is the record that follows Perfect Strangers. I don't know a lot of this record other than like the couple of singles, so excited to dive into this because I love Perfect Strangers stuff. If it's anything like Perfect Strangers, I'm into it. And this was really cheap too. I want to say this is like $8 or something.
Yeah, with hype sticker cellophane, it's pretty sick.
Out of all this shit, this is probably my find of the month. I spun this, or find of the last couple months. Spun this, absolutely sounds fucking amazing. One of my gotta be in might be in my top 10 records of all time. Rainbow Rising. So Richie Blackmore's Rainbow with Ronnie. One of the greatest lineups just to ever lay anything to tape. Richie Blackmore, Ronnie James Dio, Cozy Powell, and Jimmy Bain is on bass. Almost positive. It's one of the greatest lineups to ever lay anything. This fucking sounds excellent too. It's actually a pretty good pressing of it. Stargazer, obviously an amazing fucking track. Yeah, I mean, even if you're not into metal, I think Rainbow is a good, like, anybody band. It's just a great fucking band. Awesome fucking album cover too. Iconic.
Oh yeah. Fucking gnarly.
And then speaking of Orson Welles, this is like 50 cents.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Man, Dracula, the original radio broadcast. So my wife's a big Dracula fan, read the book, seen the movie, all the fucking movies, tons of times. This was the complete broadcast exactly as heard on July 11th, 1938, starring Orson Welles.
Is that from the Mercury Theater or Mercury Group or whatever? Did it say it on there?
It does not say.
Oh, okay. That was his gimmick.
Might be on the back, but yep. Orson Welles stars in the Mercury Theater presentation. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's the back of it.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty clean too. So I was like 50 cents, whatever.
Sure.
Throwing this in here, my mom gave me this really clean copy of the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. This thing is not cheap anymore. Like, you're gonna spend $20 every time. Like, you see it.
Was that her copy, or was that a copy we gave to, or you gave to her later?
No, I think she bought this later.
Okay.
I don't know when, but
yeah.
It's not her original copy. She doesn't have any original stuff. It got left here when they moved back east, so everything got left.
Yes.
So, anyways, yeah, Saturday Night Fever, obviously iconic fucking soundtrack, Bee Gees. So, very cool to get that into the collection because I would never spend the $20 that people fucking want for this. It's fucking ridiculous. There's a billion copies of it. Blue Oyster Cult. This is Agents of Fortune live 40th anniversary. So very fucking cool. So they're playing the whole record. This was released in 2020 on Frontiers. It's just on a black, but you get a nice gatefold, liner notes, and then pictures from the show.
That is sick.
So very cool to get that. Always love to add BOC in when I can. I got this because it was $12 on Amazon. Vinyl deals. Mm-hmm. New Goo Goo Dolls.
Ooh, look at you, girl.
Kiss and Bloom. So I haven't even listened to this yet, but it was I haven't even streamed it, but it was $12. So I'll add it in. I really like the Boxes, which is the record before this, I think, if I remember right. So yeah. Added this because I was watching a live stream and somebody was talking about this record, and I was like, damn, that sounds really fucking cool. Looked it up on Amazon. It was like $20. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get that. This is a band, a thrash band from the early 90s. They only have like 3 records called Devastation. They're from Texas. This came out in 1990. This is Idolatry. I think it's how you say that.
Yeah.
Really cool band. Cool fucking album too, because I started streaming it like right after that. I watched that stream, and I'm like, yeah, this is really fucking cool. It's kind of groovy. It's not Pantera-y. It's still heavy. Like, it's still in the Slayer, like, heavy thrash vein, but it got some cool groove.
There you go.
Interesting too, because I don't know if they're a Christian band, but the lyrics are kind of Christian heavy, which is obviously another rare thing in that as well.
Yeah.
So 91. Produced by Scott Burns, legendary producer. So yeah, this is a cool fucking album. And I'll definitely spin it again. Cool album cover too.
Yeah, it looks like a little like Pushead or rubber.
It does.
With the
It does. Yeah.
What have you? Yeah.
You're correct. Yeah. Alrighty, moving on here. So this will get fun. One of the absolutely best Swedish metal bands of all time. Swedish blackened death metal, black metal. whatever you want to call them.
Mm.
Dissection. This is the somber lane.
Oh, wow, that's some artwork.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely kick-ass album. Dissection's weird because John, the main songwriter, lyricist, vocalist, guitar player, he's no longer living, killed himself, but he got into some bad shit. So just not all around a great person, and
Yeah.
not a lot. A lot of people in those scenes aren't great people, but John took the cake of being even a worse human being. So they had 2 albums, if I remember right, and then John ended up going to prison, and he was in prison for. This is Sweden. He was in prison for 8 years or 7 years for murder. Him and another guy. The other guy wasn't in the band. Got out for like 8 years. Their full sentence was like 10 years.
Yeah.
So, it's just the crazy prison sentences there. And then he ended up getting out. They ended up doing another record in like 04, 05, like right after he got out. And then he ended up killing himself in 06. Interesting side note, he had a feud with Mustaine going on. Because
all right.
when Mustaine, I remember this vividly, when Mustaine was like getting heavy in his Born Again shit, he was telling like fest organizers like, I'm not going to play with any satanic bands, which is just like, what the fuck are you?
Ridiculous.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You just play metal fest, like it's just going to happen, bro.
Yeah.
And then he basically he says he didn't get them kicked off, but he basically told it was the precursor to what is now Hellfest in France. But anyway, it was titled something else back then. Mustaine basically said, if they're going to be on the bill, we're not going to do it. So he didn't say kick them off of the bill, but you basically said kick them off the bill because Megadeth was one of the headliners on the bill. So they ended up getting kicked off. So that started a feud with Mustaine and them going back and forth and shit. And then they ended up playing a festival together, and like John from Dissection, like, called him out on stage and shit, and basically just called him on bluff. And, apparently Mustaine just stayed in his fucking trailer and they never spoke. Mustaine didn't want anything to do with him, which is whatever. But
is that still a thing that Mustaine does?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I haven't heard about it in a long time.
You feel like you would, though, right?
Exactly. Like if he was still trying to do that shit, it would be kind of fucking ridiculous. Like, what are you gonna do? So yeah, this is their debut. Came out in '93. Absolutely, just stone cold fucking classic. One of my favorite metal records of all time. Their second record, Storm of the Light's Bane, is arguably even better. But that needs a repress because that one's pretty expensive. 95. So this is on Black Lodge Records. It's kind of like an unofficial official bootleg. Got it on Discogs from a seller because the rights to this shit's all weird.
Yeah,
it's a whole other fucking podcast.
A lot of that shit is right.
Well, nobody knows who has the rights to this. So, some people say like John gave the rights to the guy. Him and his friend, they were in like this satanic fucking cult. Like, now I have to tell the whole story. So they were in like this satanic fucking cult together. Like they started this fucking thing. Him and this other dude, right?
Yeah.
And they ended up killing this dude, and they go to prison. They get out. John kills himself. So some people say like John gave all the rights to that other guy. Yeah. So some people say that other guy has the rights, but nobody will put it out for obvious reasons and shit. So they're like weird. I don't care. I bought it from a fucking private seller on Discogs. I don't give a shit. Like whoever bought this, I already gave money to whoever. So, but it's just weird because there's no official pressings and shit. Like the shit just,
it looks really nice.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It has really good reviews. It sounded decent too. And then this is the one of the most ridiculous.
Oh, there you
things
go.
Yeah,
wow, that's money
stuck there, but
that's funny.
This is the pop-up, which is funny because like this record is so dark, and then the story of this band is so fucking morbid, and
Very dark.
it's like a true crime podcast, and then this has a fucking pop up in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but very cool pressing though. Great fucking album.
Yeah.
Crazy fucking story too. All right, I'm almost done here. Got some singles. Tyler was there when I picked this up.
Oh, yes.
This is one of the old Record Store Day things they did side by side. So they'd have one side with an artist and another side covering that artist. So this is Bad Reputation by Freddie Johnston, one of my all-time favorite 90s songs. If you know Kingpin, the movie, that song's big in that movie. So one side is Freddie Johnston, the other side is Death Cab for Cutie. So
first Death Cab for Cutie purchase. There you go.
Yeah, that's why too. So I had to pick that up, and then I was like, I got to go down the rabbit hole because I know Typo had some of them.
Oh yes,
they had two, and I forgot about this one. This one came out in 2018 Record Store Day, and this is Typo Negative on one side. I Don't Want to Be Me, Typo Negative song, and then Trivium on the other side covering it. So
that's cool. Were we together with Discogs?
This is Discogs.
I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, I would remember that. Okay, that's sick.
Yeah, this one is still cheap too. Like I got this for like $8. That's and awesome. Then this one was a little bit more. I want to say it was still 15, but it was pretty good because there was a lot of listings higher. And this is Highway Star. So you got Deep Purple on one side and Typo on the other.
That's awesome with the red.
And yeah, it's purple. But
purple.
But yeah, clear with a little purple in there. I do appreciate the fact too that they changed the label, like the Warner's on the Deep Purple side, and then the old Roadrunner is on the other side.
That's good call.
Which Warner owns Roadrunner, but just a cool thing.
Attention to detail.
Yes, I appreciate it. Got this Overkill 40th anniversary book. I think Tyler was there when I bought this. This was turned in used. No, you were. It was at Zia. Okay. I don't remember. It was like the Chandler one or something. Anyway, this is the Overkill 40th anniversary books that they do. This thing is really fucking cool. Has a live set in there. This book opens up and LPs in there, and you got a giant booklet in here too.
It's awesome.
It is. I actually kind of appreciate this more than a box set because it's kind of more practical.
Yeah.
Like when you take this out, it's all readily accessible. So this is Overkill, and they did a run on these, and I got some more because I was like, I need to look into pricing for these. So Overkill, Motorhead, very cool. And those are normally you still see them new for I think they started $70. That was $40.
Yeah, they're cranking those out too.
Well, these sets have stopped. They
don't do those for the records anymore. The big books.
No. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
They did the first 4 or 5 records. So I bought Ace of Spades. Ooh. I got this on Amazon because it was $30.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, marked down. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get it. So Ace of Spades, 40th anniversary set. Same thing. You get a live of the era live show on every one of these sets too. So and everything I've seen, it's the full show, which is fucking cool too. So obviously iconic fucking record, really cool set.
I dig it.
And then I have Bomber.
Oh wow. You did go. You did grab some.
Well, I wasn't gonna do it, but they were so cheap. They were all. This one was $25.
Oh wow, Jesus!
On Amazon, I just they were on fucking sale. So I'm like, they're trying to get rid of them. So I'm like, all right. So Motorhead Bomber, and they're all the same. So they all line up together, which is nice. And they all have the booklet in there, and they all have a live set. So very impressive. And then the last one, they did do one for the first record, but I don't have that one. That one I couldn't find on Amazon, and it's more than I want to pay for it on Discogs right now. So eventually I might get it. But then I have Iron Fist.
Ooh, that's sick.
So
It's a cool cover too.
Same gimmick there. Yeah, and I'm like, they're all fucking so cheap. I was like, you assholes. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, these are all basically like half off. So yeah,
well, yeah,
very
those
cool
are
cover.
$50 bills all day for sure.
Yeah, I mean the MSRP, like you still see them at Zia new for like $69.99. I think they want for some of them. So
it's crazy.
I was super stoked that it just worked out that way. And then the last big thing, there is an unboxing on the channel for this. The Permanent Waves 40th anniversary set.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, there is an unboxing, so check it out. Conic Rush record. Again, they don't have a bad record. So
that's quite a proclamation that they don't have a bad record.
They don't. What do you mean?
All right. I don't know. I thought I've heard you. You know, records you're more out on than others, but I didn't know if you would.
Yeah, they don't have a bad record. There's records that I prefer, just like anything else in life. But I would never not listen to a Rush record. Like I don't want to. I'm never going to be like I don't want to listen to this.
That's fair.
So
I mean,
to me,
there's not much.
That means there's not a bad record.
That's fair. I mean, I was thinking like Blink. There's bad records that I'll listen to, so fuck them. that's my. So like, I couldn't do that.
No, I'm not saying that as a mark. Like they legitimately don't have a bad record.
No, I know. No, I'm just saying like I don't have that same thing. Like all my bands have bad records. I feel like records I don't want. I shouldn't. Okay, maybe not bad records, but records I really would rather not listen to. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah. There's obviously I have my favorites and I could rank them, but like there's some that I'd prefer to listen to more than others. But if a record would came on a shuffle, I'd just like, all right, I'm gonna listen to Power Windows today. Okay, I'm gonna listen to the Counterparts today. All right, whatever. Yeah, I don't care, man. I like all airs. Like all airs.
I know you. Yeah, I know you. You still did like the newest records too. You still like Snakes and Arrows. And you liked like Time Machine too.
Clockwork Angels was the last record. Yeah. Clockwork Angels has really really grown on me. That record's, especially in hindsight, knowing that's their last record now. I listened to the whole thing all the way through like a couple months ago, and I'm like, this thing's it's a really good record. Yeah. Guys, that's Final Haul. Thanks for sticking around with us. That was a long one, but we got it done. And we'll be back with Final Haul probably in like a month or two for another hour and plus episode. So we'll see.
There you go.
It's just me talking at Tyler and Tyler pretending to give a shit. So there you go.
I do give a shit. I do give a shit. Don't you dare.
Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, comment, all of that YouTube stuff. We would certainly appreciate it. Check out the main topics. They come out weekly where we do a deep dive on a specific vinyl or music related topic. So we'd appreciate you sticking around, or you can stick around for the vinyl hauls or unboxings, whatever you want. We appreciate it. Anyways, guys, we will see you next time. Peace.